On now, Lauren Jo Black from countrynow.com. Lauren, how are you?
I'm great, Bobby. How are you?
Pretty good. You know, we are still talking about the ACM Awards. This airs Friday, so it'll be a couple days after. But the fact that we're still talking about it means something, because usually these things come and go and people like their awards, but this year there's a little more to talk about. And I'm curious to know how you felt about the Entertainer of the Year award.
Well, I think that it was definitely a shock. At first I was like, has this ever happened before? And of course started Googling and realized, no, it's never happened before. So that was a big plot twist, I think. And I was really hoping for Carrie to pull it off. Of course, the cycle of the whole award show was thrown off since it was postponed from April. So I think, the timing of everything was a little strange. But, I was really rooting and expecting for her to win, and it was a shock that there was a tie and that the tie was Thomas. And, I think that all of the nominees in that category were deserving. But just to be honest with you, I really was surprised that Thomas was the one she tied with, because I thought for sure it was going to be Luke Combs just after the year that he had. And I even remember you and I speaking in January, and we were making predictions for the year. And that was one of the things I talked about, Luke Combs and Entertainer of the Year. So I'm kind of surprised that it wasn't him.
Yeah, the big tie was Thomas Rhett and Carrie Underwood at the end of the show. And again, all five of them, you can have a fight for it. I would have thought if you said, hey, put money on a couple, it was Carrie or Luke Combs. As much as it's weird to not say Eric Church, because again, they're all deserving based on what I know about the voters, the history of the voting patterns, and at what time of the year it was. Because again, this was supposed to air in April, but if I'm correct, voting closed in early March. So they're voting on the past 9 months to a year before that. So it's almost like a whole different cycle from what we know now.
Right.
Well, good for Thomas Rhett. Love him. He's a great artist. I kind of feel bad that he's suffering some of the brunt of this today. Last year when Garth won the CMA, which is a different show because there are two shows, Garth took it on the chin, which is why he's not in it this year, because he's like, hey, I won and I'm good. But it's got to be weird to win and then have people upset at you. Well, I say that, but when I won Dancing with the Stars, people were pissed at me.
You didn't ask to, they gave it to you. You didn't ask. And just like Thomas, I see people saying, why does Carrie, of course, from the feminism, side of things, she shouldn't have to share her award with someone, and she should have it on her own and things like that. But it's no fault of Thomas's. This is the way that it panned out. It's not his fault,
and it's no fault of any person making a decision. This is a legit vote that a firm tabulates, holds, and then releases back to the CMA. So those people thinking, well, why couldn't they nobody let anyone. It's people voting. So all right, good to know your opinion there. Female Artist of the Year, Maren Morris. Thoughts?
I honestly was shocked. And then I was thinking about, okay, let's think about Girl and the success that she's had on the charts. And then it made more sense as I thought about it. I guess we're just so programmed, to think that's a Carrie Miranda award only. And so it is pretty cool to see the tides kind of changing and, new people winning, because pretty much since 2006 when Carrie came off of Idol, it was either Carrie or Miranda. So I think it is pretty cool, but I will say I was shocked at the initial announcement. I
was surprised. I thought it would be Miranda winning female and Carrie winning entertainer. And
that's what I thought.
And they'd both have one. And but yeah, good for Maren. Listen, in the Bones, I'm not even sure when that song came out and if it played a factor in the voting of this, but has been as big as Girl. So she deserves it. I was surprised, though, that the voters but the ACMs of the two award shows are a bit more progressive, and they do move a little quicker on anointing people award winners than do the CMAs. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think so. I was talking to someone earlier, and I was saying, the ACMs are out of L.A., and, kind of a little bit removed from the whole Nashville circle, so I definitely agree with that.
All right, Male Artist of the Year, Luke Combs. Now, I'm going to assume that you feel like that's justified because you thought he should have been Entertainer of the Year, and I was in that camp a little bit too. But Male Artist of the Year, talk about Luke Combs.
Luke Combs, let's think 6 years ago. No one knew his name. He just won new artist recently, like within recent years.
Like
you know,
2 years ago,
he is. Yeah, and here he is winning male artist. And, I mean, the charts records that he's breaking constantly, like 9 consecutive number ones. It's incredible, and I really don't think it's been done before, you know, just in this way, in this fast. So I think it was deserved. I was not surprised at all, and, you know, that was just kind of a given to me that that's what it was going to be.
He also won Album of the Year. Did you feel like that was a given?
I was shocked, honestly, because I have to look back. I didn't look in the database for this, but I was going to see, like, I think, if not all, almost all of Miranda's albums have been Album of the Year at the ACM. And so I was thinking they would go with Wild Card, honestly. I just feel like she has that track record there, so I was a little surprised with that one.
I think, too, and as much as everyone loves Miranda, people don't want to see people win all the time. I think that's why Luke Bryan isn't even nominated for Entertainer of the Year at the other awards show, the CMAs, because he was just dominating it for so long. And people go, all right, he's had his little run.
Right.
But, yeah, listen, Luke Combs, he deserves everything he gets. He's done things that I haven't seen, and I've been in town 8 years. You've been in town longer than that. So God's Country from Blake Shelton wins Single of the Year. You've been pretty much shocked with every other category. How about this one?
No, I thought that was either going to win single or song. I wasn't sure which one it would take home. And I think that song was so important for him just in the sense that he literally said that he was thinking his career was essentially over until he found that song. So I think it was kind of cool that he won because it was such like a turning point for him. So that wasn't that much of a surprise for me.
Duo of the Year, I saw you tweet out before you were predicting Dan and Shay would win. They did win. Is that a given to you?
Oh, yeah, that was, I think so. Florida Georgia Line, like they had their little, their run. And like you said, like people want to see different people win awards. And I think they're such good dudes. And not that the guys
all that helps, though.
aren't,
you're right.
But
yeah.
It's just all like plays into it. And so like I feel like that wasn't a surprise at all either.
Well, kind of a disadvantage I had about making predictions closer to the show was that I knew some of the winners because they had to tell them beforehand so they would get up to the Opry and so they could be ready backstage. Did you know that part?
Well, I figured, but
Yeah.
I wasn't 100% sure because I was like, oh, they just happened to be there,
Like 2 days before, they were calling them and telling them, they would tell the manager, like, hey, this is the deal. Circumstance that probably won't happen again, but listen, I'm just glad the show went off. I was there. I saw how the precautions they were taking. I was happy it happened.
Okay, I'm curious. Like, did you feel like it was refreshing just to like get a sense of these performances that didn't happen on a couch? Like, because that's what for me it made it feel a little bit more normal, where there was performances with like a band and production, and I think that was like a nice highlight of 2020 since we haven't really gotten a chance to watch that as much this year.
Yeah, that was good. Again, it wasn't all the way good because almost every performance was recorded and it wasn't live because they just couldn't move that many people in and out because of COVID precautions. So I think I was a little jaded by that. But yes, it was cool to see big music, big performances. I love Carrie's performance. There were a lot of great ones here. So don't want to spend too much time talking about it. I just wanted to recap with you and tell everybody to check out countrynow.com. And anything else you'd like to add, Lauren, before we go? Any lasting impression you'd like to share?
As far as ACMs, I guess I'll just say that if the website clicks are, telling of anything, Eric Church's performance was definitely the number one moment of the night.
That's what I picked too, yeah. I said the same thing on the show.
That story is popping off. Everyone's clicking it, looking for that performance to rewatch. So, it's kind of interesting when the numbers speak for themselves and you can see that.
All right, Lauren, thanks. Good to talk to you. Everybody go check out Lauren, countrynow.com, and you can follow her on Instagram or Twitter. And are they both the same name, at Lauren Joe Black?
That's right.
All right, Lauren, good to talk to you.
Thank you, Bobby.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, it's Bobby Bones. Welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and then go check it out. A lot of artists, a lot of songwriters, a lot of music. Welcome to the Bobby Cash channel.